Okay, so I've been messing around with Squigly the past couple of days, and I've found a couple of like really simple, easy to do BnBs for. I'm not saying these are going to be like the most optimized of combos ever, but you know they do alright, and they actually can lead into each other for additional mix-ups. So this one can be done mid-screen or in the corner. It doesn't particularly matter. It works everywhere. So first things first, you can get your charge up. Punch stance or kick stance, it doesn't particularly matter. It will spend your kick stance charge though, so I kind of like charging punch because this BnB doesn't actually spend your uh, punch stance charge. So this can actually work off of an overhead or a low. You just have to go into that launcher if you stance cancel. But if you want to combo from that overhead, you do need to stance cancel. So make sure you have a stance charge. If you don't have a stance charge, this will still work. You just lose a rep on the ground like that. So instead of going for that fierce, you would go straight into launcher. Anyway, here it is. I'm just gonna do it from a low, but again, as I mentioned before, you can do it from an overhead. Alright. Well, I'm gonna save state here. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so as you can see, the end of the combo with that last dive kick leaves the opponent standing and right next to you. And this is particularly good because it can easily lead into another mix-up. You can go from an overhead because you didn't spend your punch stance charge, or you can go from a low. You can also go for a throw. Although if the opponent's not in the corner, you will have to spend a meter and combo after that. And you after that dive kick, you might actually be able to link like a jab after it for another combo. But I think the issue with that is that, well, first of all, IPS. I'm pretty sure at that point it will start triggering IPS and they can just burst out. And the problem with that is, of course, that when they burst, you're going to be sent flying back all the way back here or something. And then you don't get that mix-up. Second of all, it's not like the hardest link in the world to do, but, you know, especially if you're like playing online or something, you definitely probably don't want to be trying that anyway. It's going to be very, very difficult to be landing that link unless you've practiced it a ton. And third, like, even if it didn't trigger IPS and you got this huge timing thing down, I mean, they're just going to undizzy and then burst out of it. And then you're in the same situation as if IPS triggered. You're back here, you don't get the mix up. So I say just end it after that dive kick. And then with that, you know, you can combo from a low, combo from an overhead if you stance cancel. Or you can go for a throw. And the great thing about this is that you don't even need to collar the throw at this range. You can just like go for regular throw, no collar needed. And I believe that works after like regardless if that dive kick combos, you will always be in range for a throw. You don't need to collar it, and part of that is because Squiggly's throw range is pretty good anyway to begin with. So then, like, so let's say that I got the opponent in the corner, then I can do the same BnB I just showed you, or I can go for a throw, and I don't even have to spend any meter to combo. If I do something like this, and then same situation again. They're in the corner again, and I can go for another throw. I can go for my regular, like, low or overhead mix up, and again, if I have stance charge, then I can just stance cancel the overhead and go for a combo like that. So if the opponent is not in the corner though, so let's get you out of there. If the opponent's not in the corner, it's a little bit trickier because the throw mix up is going to be less good. Okay, so first of all, the throw already scales the damage of the combo pretty significantly. So that's one issue. Second issue is that the throw, if the opponent is not in the corner, then they don't get that wall bounce. And without that wall bounce, you don't get a free combo. You have to spend meter. But if you do have that meter, then it's fine. You just have to be wary that, you don't want to save your meter for something else. So this is a throw combo mid-screen. Again, it costs a meter. Oh, crap. Let me try that again. And again, same thing. I really like ending my air combos with the kind of dive, either the short or forward dive kick. Both don't do the flip overhead thing, and I like that to end the air juggle in these situations because normally you would be able to combo after the hard kick dive kick because there's a ground bounce, but you only get one ground bounce per combo. So like the throw already uses up that ground bounce. So that's why I don't go for the roundhouse dive kick. I just go for short and forward because they end me right next to the opponent. And again, same situation as before. Mix ups galore. Anyway, so yeah, that's about it for Squigly BnBs. Oh yeah, if the opponent jumps, you can go for an air throw, but as far as I can tell, you can't get too much off of it. Maybe you could if they're really low to the ground, and then you go for a dive kick and then juggle afterward. The timing on that is fairly difficult though, and it requires the opponent to be fairly low to the ground. But if you anticipate a jump, then obviously, bam. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, you don't even have to go for regular throw mix-up if you want. You can just go for a command throw if you have the meter, and obviously that sets them in a crumple, so then you can combo with basically whatever you want at that point. But regardless, that's it for like Squigly BnBs and setups into mix-ups.